Restrictions along the U.S. borders extended. How that could impact businesses in the South Bay that were hoping for a boost from holiday shopping. San Diegans flocking to testing sites ahead of the holiday. Why experts warn you still may not be in the clear even after being tested. And the next White House administration taking shape. Who is reportedly being tapped for Secretary of State and the role John Kerry will play in the White House. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
This is Justin. This morning, travel restrictions at all U.S. land borders have been extended for another month. Hello, I'm Virginia Cha. Those restrictions could have a devastating effect on businesses that rely on holiday shoppers coming from Mexico. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie has the latest on that announcement.
For the 8th month in a row, the land borders between the U.S. and its neighboring countries to the north and south will remain closed to limit the spread of COVID-19. The extension confirmed today by Customs and Border Protection officials. It will last through December 21st. The agreement continues the hold on tourism and recreational trips, though essential business and trade are still unaffected, and people can continue to come into the states for education and medical reasons as well. The restrictions were first put in place in March to control the spread of the virus. They've been extended each month ever since. The U.S. leads the world in COVID-19 cases and deaths. And with cases rising in all three countries, this extension was agreed to by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Businesses in the border region have already seen a major decline because of the travel restrictions. The San Ysidro Chamber of Commerce has said many have permanently closed and that the restrictions have had a devastating effect on the region. They've told ABC 10 News in the past that retail at the border has taken the biggest hit to date. And they've expressed concern even before the confirmation of this extension that if holiday shopping were restricted, it would decimate the region. Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
Now, we have reached out to the San Ysidro Chamber of Commerce for comment, but are still waiting to hear back. Well, today we are waiting for a possible decision on a lawsuit here in San Diego challenging state restrictions on businesses. Several local businesses are represented in that lawsuit, which is asking a judge for an injunction to block recent restrictions banning indoor operations. Now, the state argues the potential risk to public health outweighs the financial damage businesses are taking from those restrictions. We reached out to those businesses involved in the suit, but they say they first want to hear the decision from the court, which we are expecting as early as today. That court battle coming as the state reports thousands of new COVID-19 cases, and they say so far more than 1 million Californians have contracted the virus. Now, as we have reported, San Diego and many other counties in the purple tier are now under a curfew. All businesses and gatherings must shut down from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. through December 21st. Non-essential work also prohibited during that time. The Sheriff's Department says they are following up on complaints, and later today we do expect to learn how many citations were issued this weekend. In Los Angeles, that county implementing even tougher measures. So starting 10 p.m. Wednesday, all dining in LA County, including outdoors, will shut down. Only takeout, drive-through, and delivery will be allowed. The new restrictions aim to reduce crowding and the potential for exposure in settings where people are not wearing face coverings. Though Thanksgiving travel is expected to be lighter this year because of the pandemic, AAA predicts there will still be more than 50 million people who go somewhere for the holiday. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has more on the warning local experts have for those who will be traveling.
As more and more people show up at COVID-19 testing sites all over the county, local health experts say getting that test isn't enough to decrease the risk of spreading the virus.
There's a worrisome reason for that is that people are planning on going to go visit their older relatives, and they think that they are going to be 100% safe.
That's Dr. Davey Smith, Chief of Infectious Diseases at UC San Diego. He says if you get a test now, there's still a chance you can get a false negative.
If I get tested now, it doesn't mean that I'm not infected. It just means that I'm not actively shedding virus.
This comes as hundreds continue to show up at COVID-19 testing sites like this one in Linda Vista over the weekend.
All airport visitors, passengers, and employees are required to wear a face mask.
At the San Diego International Airport, ABC 10 News caught up with passengers who had the same thought.
I got it tested about a week ago just to make sure that everything was okay, and And I know that you can have it without having symptoms, but I did as much as I could to prepare before I came.
And along with getting a test, these travelers made sure they brought everything else they need to stay healthy while traveling this Thanksgiving holiday.
We're wearing our masks. We're using hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, washing our hands constantly. This was a necessary travel. So in that situation, when it's necessary, you have to do everything to keep not only yourself safe, but also everyone around you as well. So social distancing is really important.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Well, just in the last hour, Dr. Anthony Fauci reinforced the holiday warning, imploring everyone to make safe decisions as we move closer to a vaccine.
The situation that we're in right now, which is unprecedented, but it will end. So this is a very fixed period of time. I know it's a very, very precious period of time, the holiday season when we get together. But please don't do something that in fact would put you or your family in danger, such as getting a crowded group of people coming from different places.
The nation's leading expert on infectious disease encouraged those who will be gathering to wear masks whenever possible, especially indoors. Well, drug maker AstraZeneca says they are getting close to having a COVID vaccine of their own, announcing this morning theirs is 70% effective. Now, that is the average. AstraZeneca says there was a 90% efficacy rate in the first dose, but a 60% in the second, so that was averaged together. They say no hospitalizations or severe cases of the disease were reported in the participants who received their vaccine. This news is coming after Moderna announced earlier this month its vaccine is 94.5% effective, and Pfizer announcing their vaccine 95% effective. An American labor leader is asking all U.S. governors to include firefighters and emergency medical responders on their highest priority tier when their states begin to distribute a vaccine. Now, the head of the International Association of Firefighters sent a letter today addressed to U.S. governors on behalf of the hundreds of thousands of group members. The group says firefighters are constantly exposed to COVID risks while doing their jobs and should be protected once they can do that with a vaccine. Nearly 150 professional firefighters have been hospitalized upon contracting the virus, and at least 19 have died. Well, this morning an arson investigation is underway after a string of fires in La Mesa, culminating with one that damaged a business. Authorities say a fire that started at a dumpster this morning spread into the Sleigh Lounge in La Mesa. They think that fire may be connected to others that popped up nearby. While the Sleigh Lounge was damaged, fire crews say it was not severe. There was some smoke damage as well to businesses nearby. President-elect Biden's cabinet is starting to take shape. Amid reports he's made his choice for the next Secretary of State. And former Secretary of State John Kerry has been tapped to join Biden's national security team in a role focused on addressing climate change. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest on Biden's staff and the ongoing fight over the election results.
The incoming administration quickly taking shape this week as President-elect Joe Biden begins naming some of the heads of key federal agencies. ABC News learning as soon as Tuesday, Biden will nominate longtime aide Anthony Blinken as Secretary of State. Blinken comes with an extensive background in foreign policy dating back to the Clinton State Department and was Deputy Secretary of State under President Obama. Also in the wings, Linda Thomas Greenfield, who sources tell ABC News Biden will name as UN ambassador. Greenfield is a retired Foreign Service officer with decades of diplomatic experience. The president-elect also indicating other announcements like his Treasury Secretary are on the way.
You'll find it is someone who I think will be accepted by all elements of the Democratic Party.
This as President Trump still refuses to publicly acknowledge the outcome of the presidential election. And now, with a Biden presidency just 58 days away, he instead is clinging to baseless voter fraud allegations that have largely failed in court. Over the weekend, a judge denying Trump's attempt to throw out millions of votes in Pennsylvania, adding the case lacks factual proof of rampant corruption.
The president's legal team has been a national embarrassment.
In an about phase, the president's campaign now trying to distance itself from Sidney Powell, who Trump previously said was part of his legal team. Powell has been attacking some Republicans while spreading wild conspiracy theories about the election. While the president's attempt to overturn the election falls apart, today, counties in Pennsylvania planning to certify their results. In Michigan, a vote on whether to certify or delay the process for an audit, a delay that could further draw out the formal transition process.
If the Trump administration position is we're just supposed to trust them that this is all going to work out, I think that's a hard sell to the American people.
And a growing number of frustrated Republicans, including Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska and Maryland's Governor Larry Hogan, are joining the Biden team in urging the president to start the formal transition process. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.